So I recently got access to GitHub Copilot, and it's still under technical preview. So I'm excited to try it out. So I did try out a few simple use cases, and I thought, why don't we do it in this in a small session. So GitHub Copilot is a tool provided by GitHub which allows you to quickly type out certain templates and snippets basically which are commonly used. It can be simple like executing a command like your system commands or some simple login security for username for a just basic authentication, or it can be querying REST API, like simple things which are very commonly used. So these snippets can be generated by Copilot, and the Copilot is an AI. It's backed by OpenAI, and what basically it does is it's trained on billion lines of code, public code, which is open source code, and it using that models, it generates models, and whichever IDE that you use, like IntelliJ and Visual Studio IDs allow integration with Copilot. So uh, it reads the current file that is open and gets the template, the context and that's currently in the file, and it suggests different snippets. So it basically it will read your open file, and it will get those extra those the context from that file that's open in your IDE, and it speaks multiple languages like Go um, and JavaScript, Java, etc. And it can also read comments and things, right? So let's jump in and see how we can use GitHub Copilot. So first you need to install the extension GitHub Copilot, and then you also need to register for a preview in GitHub Copilot, and which I think is now publicly available, and before there's a waiting list. I don't think there's a waiting list now. So once you get the login information and confirmation, then you can log in to the GitHub Copilot. So you just click on this, log into GitHub, and it will show you a code, and you can and then use copy that code, and it will redirect you to your browser, and then paste that code, and then once you log in, you're good to go, right? So I've already done that, so I won't show that. And there is this shortcut keyboard shortcut which can use to show completions. So let's say I'll create a new file. Start off simple, hello world, and if I type the completion, you can already see that it shows um, a code snippet, which is exactly what I want to do. I just want to print hello world. Great. It's printing that as well. So another thing, if you want to add another snippet like execute system command, mm, it can also provide suggestions or snippets for that. So as you see, uh, it's it's very um, it speeds it up quite considerably. And if you run the command, it says the command executed successfully. So I would also like to see what what's the output of the command, right? So say I want to print the process um, let's say I want to print the input stream. uh, so we can use the say I will use a buffered reader, and then you see that it already shows auto completion here. And so let's just print, um, let's say that I want to print out the contents, right? So um, let's print it in a while loop. While so as you can see, it's giving the suggestion for printing from the reader as well. And once we run it, I'm able to get the suggestions, the output of ls command, right? And if I do a pwd, it shows the current working directory. So this is how we can use GitHub Copilot, and I think it's pretty useful. And For example, we can even it can even suggest different patterns. Like here, for example, I've come to the web security config, and let's say I want to add a which is Spring Boot configuration for security, right? Basic security. So I can pass the override and then specify the different configuration options here. So as you see, this is the default option that it provides, where it says provides the slash home and then the slash, which is the home page, and it permits the home page and anything, and just the basic domain. And for other things, you need to it needs to be authenticated and goes to your login page. So this actually is the default by the Spring Boot templates, which are available like in their documentation. This is an example that's listed there, so, and it's on GitHub as well, so it has picked up this suggestion from there. So in this way, we can easily get different suggestions for basic use cases. So I would also suggest that because see, this Copilot will take the current file into, and it will send it to the Copilot servers, and it will use your current file for accessing. For the getting the specific model, and then trying to match the pattern and getting the different snippets. So from the privacy point of view, what I've read is they say this is not suggested. This whatever code that I write will not be suggested to other users. It only uses open source for suggestions. But this code will still be used to train um, the AI model. So I would say use it, um, you know, with a pinch of salt, and in case your file has some secret keys or any secrets, so then please be aware that It's still accessible by OpenAI and GitHub Personal, the Copilot, and only they can access it. But still, it will be available for them. So I would say that security still needs. Um, I think you still maybe need to do a bit more research on this before we can actually jump in to use it for production, right? So, um, so yeah, thank you.